paternity leave in sports.
In sports.
Dirk, I'm gonna get SY first because I can tell by your reaction, you know the story, and I don't know that SY does because I don't think she knows the story, and so I'm gonna present it to her in a logical fashion, since you know the story.
I'm in paternity leave as we speak.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We got we do got a baby.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the
Thank
new
you.
baby
Thank you.
and whatnot. I'm gonna get you to tell
We
me
got
about.
babies that's coming all over
Well,
the
see, now
place.
you were definitely an interesting person to get your perspective on this.
Okay.
Because of where I'm going. And now we bill ourselves as the top sports stories of the week, even though we don't do it a lot. That's why I said you need to take that out the intro. I don't want to take it out the intro because I like every once in a while when we do sports, but I want to do mainstream stories like this one. Daniel Murphy is a player for the New York Mets. Last week, his wife on Sunday, before the season began, went into labor in Florida. He was in New York, and he was told about it. He jumped on the plane and went to be with his wife. He took paternity leave. Now, I don't know that anybody on the surface would have too much of an issue with that because logically, a man should be there with his child, right? Yeah, there's a few dummies out there that had issue with it. Now, I'm going off the dome on the story the way I know it, and so if anybody hears me get any details wrong, call me up and call me a dummy. 804-402-2893. Call me a dummy, and I'll hang up on you, but call anyway. That's why.
No, he won't, y'all.
Yeah,
he will.
Yeah. Because I turn mics off. I'm like that grumpy guy. But that's why. This guy left the team on Sunday. Missed the game on Monday. Off day on Tuesday. Baby born on Monday at noon. Off day on Tuesday. Game on Wednesday. Missed Wednesday's game. Got back to the team on Thursday and played with the team. Now, in theory, if you think about that, he missed 2 games. He missed 3 days. Do you have any issue with that? Now, remember, this is an athlete who makes millions of dollars, and he worked 6 months out the year. Do you have an issue with that?
Off the top of my head, with just what you gave me, I'm going to have an issue for one reason and one reason only. I do not hear anywhere in the story where he let his, the owner of the team know.
Let's assume everybody knows.
Okay.
Let's assume that everybody knows what he's doing.
I don't have a problem. Okay. I don't see anything wrong with it. He's having a baby.
Okay.
He's going to be by his wife's side, and they're going to have their baby. That's wonderful. I don't see anything wrong with it.
What you got, Dirk?
I do know a little part of the story. The New York Mets actually gave him paternity leave all the way till Friday. So he was covered by the job. It was the sportscasters, the talk radio shows, this, that, and the third, that actually ripped him.
What the world?
And his wife had like a C-section. So it wasn't like a normal, natural birth or, a regular vaginal birth at all. This was a C-section.
What was that word?
Vaginal.
What did he say?
Is that
What did he say?
Bad word?
No, it's not. And she's hearkening back to a couple of weeks ago. SY does a segment called Healthy, which we're going to have a healthy segment here shortly.
It is all about vaginal.
Well, she did a healthy segment where she talked about the vagina. And some of us took issue with the word, and some of us were a little uncomfortable, and some of us had the little boy in us just kind of peek out, and every time the word came up, we just giggled.
You can't giggle so much. You want to play with it.
She said vagina.
So,
I'm giggling now. Just think about it. Anyway, let me cut you off. I am. But he said it like a man. Like he said, vaginal birth.
Vaginal.
There you go.
Say it again, Dirk.
Hey, you don't earn the name Dirk Diggler if you don't know nothing about no vagina.
There you go. That's an inside joke, people.
It's an inside joke.
Hey, if you don't giggle it, Google it. Then you'll get it. And then call us and tell us that you got it. 804-402-2893. So Dirk, you said that. Now I was unaware of this part. So he was good. I thought he was good until Thursday. You're saying he was good until Friday. He was good until Friday.
I don't know if he had to come back to work on Friday or if he was good through Friday. But Friday was a day.
Was the day.
Was a day. And I mean, his team had no problem with it at all.
So he was back early, actually.
Yeah, he was back early, actually.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, his team sucks, but
they stink.
I don't know why they're rushing him back for.
I like the blue and orange.
I'm surprised you don't like the Pittsburgh Pirates or the Philadelphia Phillies since you're from Pennsylvania.
I don't like the Phillies, but my Uncle Marion does.
I'm gonna ride on you
I
about
like
this
the
one,
Mets, but I like the Pittsburgh Steelers.
to allude to
Hey, look, it all come back to a good team in that region, right? You
the
know?
New York Yankees.
Look, shit like the Yankees, but like,
I
look
mean,
at that ice grill there.
yeah, she is giving him the look of death right
Six
now.
Getting that thyroid eye,
She's getting the
y'all.
thyroid. eye.
6 championships.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
But here, the Dirk touched on something. I'm glad you brought this up, bro. You mentioned that the talk radio universe is the people who stirred up this pot,
Right.
and you have Mike Francesa of the New York sports radio station WFAN, The Fan, who had a problem with it. He's like, in the old days, they were told the baby came, you got 6 months in the off season to holler at your baby, what you doing? And then you had, which is already caveman. That's caveman enough. Mm-hmm. And then you had Boomer Esiason, who is also on the radio, and a lot of folks might know that name. He used to be a football player, quarterback, played for the Bengals. I think he played for the Jets for a minute. And he actually said, if you can, why not schedule a C-section? And this is before she had the C-section, mind you. Well, before it was public that she had a C-section. Mm-hmm. Why not just schedule a C-section so that you can be there, know when the baby's coming, and then bring your ass back to the team?
Mm.
That's cold-blooded, man.
That was cold-blooded. But you want to know the funny part of that dynamic is everybody honestly think just because you're a major league or professional ball player, you the man in that house. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it's plenty relationships in the professional, lifestyle that they ain't the man. They might make most of the money.
Yeah.
But they ain't the man.
You're not the one making the decisions.
They ain't the one making the life decisions.
No.
I'm sure his wife was like, hey, yo.
You better get
you
your
better
butt up
be
in
here.
here.
Yeah.
You know what you did this past summer?
Well, they even had somebody, Dirk, suggest that you knew you wanted to have a baby. Why did you time it during the season? That's cold-blooded, y'all, for real.
It is.
I can't, I'm pretty chauvinistic,
these
and I
are
catch some
people
heat
who-
for being chauvinistic and borderline arrogant. Look, blame it on the Napoleon complex or whatever it is you got to do. But I would never go there, yo. I mean, come on, man.
It's just stupid. To me, it just all sounds stupid. It's not their lives. Somebody had a baby. I mean, really? Let it go, y'all. Let it go.
Ain't no half step.
Really let it go because, if he like 80% of men out there, he won't trying to get pregnant.
Anyway. You have another baby.
He was not trying to get pregnant.
Don't listen to him.
Let
You
alone
just have another
schedule
baby.
it.
Look, those reactions that you see on TV is for TV, right? Yes, I love you, thank you. Normally it's like, for real, yo? Damn. All right. Mm-hmm. Unless you plan it. I plan Mama J, by the way.
Because his child support would be.
Well, I'm just hoping. Well, they said this is his wifey, so hopefully, he stay with her. He don't gotta pay no child support, but if he don't, then he paying that and alimony.
You got to when you're making that much money.
Well, now he ain't
wife or nothing.
He ain't on the.
Think about that in the back of your head.
He ain't on the Antonio Cromartie plan, is he? Don't he got like 29 kids with 50 mamas or something crazy like that? So crazy like that. Ain't no hashtag with Mark J. Live from the den, legacyinnetradio.com. I know y'all listening, but y'all scared to call us 804-402-2893. SY, Dirk Diggler, and Marcus J will not bite because we can't get to you through the phone. And we'll be nice to you if you call, but if you don't want to call, keep listening and hit us up at social media because we see you out there. We see the lights on across the nation, and we appreciate the love we get, and we like to pick on you, but the reality is, SY always says it, if you wasn't listening,
we wouldn't be talking.
That's what it is. Ain't I said with Marcus J. All right, we talked about this a whole lot, SY, the murder rate in Chicago. Early on in the tenure of Ain't No Half Step and Marcus J. Last year, actually, we actually had a sister who lives in Chicago come on the air and talk to us on the air about what it's like to be in the middle of it. Those of us who are watching it from afar, when we hear these stories, we hear about this murder rate, it's like, man, it's crazy. It's sad, but the reality is unless you have somebody, that that is affected by it, it's difficult to, really,
imagine it.
Imagine it. And so I'm getting this one from BizPack Review, and they're saying in this article, and there's some numbers here to support it, murders in the Windy City have plummeted, gone down. For those folks who don't know what plummeted means, it's gone down since the Illinois legislature enacted its concealed weapons carry law, and the state Supreme Court upheld a person's right to carry firearms outside the home. The Chicago Police Department posted the city's 2014 first quarter crime figures Tuesday last week, indicating the lowest number of homicides since 1958. According to a local ABC affiliate, quote, the first 3 months of the year saw 6 fewer murders than the same time frame in 2013, a 9% drop, and 55 fewer murders than 2012, according to a statement from Chicago police. There were 90 fewer shootings and 119 fewer shooting victims, drops of 26 and 29% respectively, according to the police statistics. Compared to the first quarter of 12, there have been 222 fewer shootings and 292 fewer shooting victims, end quote. So what's changed that could possibly account for such a dramatic fall in the city that has fast become known for their homicide rates, especially in the notorious South Side neighborhoods? In July of last year, the Illinois legislature overrode Democratic Governor Pat Quinn's veto to make the land of Lincoln the final state in the country to have a concealed firearm carry permit. Translation: you walking around strapped, you less likely, per these numbers, to get capped out. Derek, I want you in on this one first. I don't know if you want to share your opinion on the concealed. You can, you can't. But if you do, feel free. But Chicago, I know we all know that their murder rate has been out of control. We all see it.
How do I feel about it?
How you feel about knowing that these numbers are allegedly connected to them changing the law to allow citizens to walk around strapped?
I actually think that it's outstanding. I've been a card carrying member of the NRA since I was 18. I've had my concealed weapons license since I was 21. The first year that Virginia allowed its citizens to conceal carry, I was in that first wave of citizens in Virginia who got their concealed weapons license. So I think it's a great step, personally, for Chicago. I had the honor to be back and forth to Chicago over the past year for work, and I can honestly tell you that when I would go to the hotel and I would talk to the people, because I was scared to go in the city, but just because, they were killing people on a massive level. It was like Fallujah down there. Yeah. And, they was like, no, you good. Just don't get off here on the train and don't get off here on the train. That means
I'm not good.
Yeah, but if you go downtown, you good. So I was annoyed about it, actually seeing Chicago. But I think that's good. You don't always want to combat violence with violence, but I mean, who's more? I mean, in the wild, is a lion more likely to tangle with a tiger or tangle with a lamb? Mm-hmm. He's more likely to tangle with a lamb. So if you got a rack load of people running around that if you're a criminal, they're not allowed to have guns, and they probably don't have guns. I'm gonna go get that.
Yeah. Like a bully.
I'm gonna go get that.
Yeah. Initially I'm thinking, how ironic. But then, just like you said, lion versus the lamb.
Right.
If I know that I can get at you and you can't come back at me, then hey, why not?
Right.
But now that there's a 50-50 chance that I'm going to lose, I might want to think about it and back up a little bit. If it's true, if the numbers are true, then that's great for them.
Right.
But I'm still a little scary about it.
And how Steppin, Marcus J. The end of this article, the author actually says, Dirk, you're right on time with your analysis, because the author says if the Fort Hood, Texas shooting, which we didn't get into and we're not going to, but the Fort Hood, Texas shooting should teach us anything else, that gun-free zones, whether they be schools, cities, or military bases, don't work. They're a deterrent to a law-abiding citizen. They're an invitation to a criminal, which is essentially what you just said without having seen that piece of an article. So I appreciate that. Ain't no hashtag on Marcus J. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm one of those people who is absolutely on the fence about guns. I'm not one who has one or has any plans to get one. So if you feel free to come to my house and check me, hey, look, it's going to go down a different kind of way for you. It's not safe for you. Just because there ain't a strap in there don't mean it's safe for you there. However...
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. You want to jump in?
No, I'll wait until you finish.
Oh, okay. It's one of those things. I mean, growing up in Jersey City, New Jersey, the only guns that I saw were in the hands of the police and the criminals. Mm-hmm. Like, I never even had it in my mind. And, of course, you know, as a kid, I mean, I guess you should know the Constitution, but I wasn't versed on it. So I didn't understand the Second Amendment until I got to be older. It wasn't something that was on our minds growing up in Jersey City. And so when I moved here and I started seeing jokers just walking around the street with a strap, and I'm looking, you know, like you see on TV, you see the badge be like right on the hip. So I'm like looking at it, probably thinking, why this dude looking at me like that? I'm looking for your badge, fool. You know, and then you don't see one. It blew my mind here when I came in. I've been here literally more than half my life. I've been here almost 22 years. I came in when I was 18, and so I spent more time in Virginia than I did in New Jersey, and it still kind of bugs me out sometimes when I see a civilian strapped to that. You say what, Dirk?
Hey,
it's a me problem.
Yeah, I mean, nah. It's a.
You need to get that shirt.
It's more of an organizational problem, for real.
Really? Is it education?
I mean, the system got some of us so blind to your actual rights, and they take away some of the northern people rights, like Chicago, New York, Jersey, DC. You know, they take away all those rights for the citizens to carry, to bear arms. So I mean, you were 18 and you like, whoa,
yeah.
You know, that's not right.
I'm actually thinking my daughter is gonna go. She's gonna be going to the range to learn how to practice. Her dad is teaching her with rifles now. And I'm thinking both of us are going to end up with our license to carry by the end of the year. I'm scared of them, honestly. But there's so much BS that you know what?
Ready.
I'm going to be ready.
This is why I love the listeners of Aint Has Steppin with Marcus J. My brother Neil is listening. My brother Neil is listening, and he's in Indianapolis. And he just sent me an article that says that Indianapolis's murder rate outbreak is doubling the number in Chicago.
God.
And see, now I don't know that that's something new that's on the national scale, but it's definitely something that needs to get out there. So far in 2014, there have been 41 murders in Indianapolis, putting the city on pace for more than 160 through March. Chicago have recorded 62 for the year, the lowest first year quarter since 1958. When you rate those per capita numbers, Indianapolis is blowing Chicago out of the water here. And so, you know, the murder rate is just out of control. And you got a lot of people who attribute it to the illegal guns. But I guess the logic, Dirk, that you kind of brought in, you didn't say this, so correct me if I get your logic wrong. But if you got more people who are carrying legal guns, you can offset the folks who are carrying illegal ones because they'll think twice about stepping to you.
Yeah, I think that plays a major role, and although I do carry my weapons concealed, I do give people a fair warning. I have NRA plates. If you actually come to my home, you know there are certain signs up that give you a fair warning, because I do not want to enter that realm. I do not want to enter that realm. Because I do go to the range and I do have heavy artillery. So if you do cross that line,
you can get it.
It's going to be real ugly.
It can go down.
I just don't want to be in that. I personally don't want to be in that situation, but at the same time, I'm ready for that situation. I'm ready to go. Like, I have guns with no safety. I have big boy toys. I got scopes. I got beams. I got camp.
I'm not even walking on his block.
You that guy.
Like, I don't want you to come on my block. I do not want you to come to my house. I don't want, like, that is the last thing that I want. I mean, you'll hear it first. I do not want to enter that realm.
Well, you got ample warning.
9 times out of 10, if you're going to check me, please never be in my house.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to see you coming first.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I'm going to see you coming first. At
God.
nighttime, daytime, whatever, I'm going to see you first. You're not even going to know I see you. I'm going to see you on camera.
Okay, y'all, I'm scared.
And you know how Steppin Marcus J. Live from the Dan Legacy Internet Radio. Got my brother Dirk Diggler of All Throttle Radio live every single Thursday from 7 to 9. I got my sister SY, and I see some new listeners that popped up on us in social media, and so we appreciate you folks that are out there listening. Last thing I want to get to before we take a break, SY, is the story of Steve Utash. Steve Utash lies in a Detroit hospital bed with his brain swollen and a gash in his head. He appears to remember the brutal beating that a neighborhood mob inflicted upon him a couple of days earlier. I'm getting this one from news1.com. He remains in critical condition a couple of days after accidentally hitting a 10-year-old boy with his company pickup truck on Detroit's east side and being pummeled by at least a half a dozen people after stopping to check on the child. The mob left the 54-year-old tree trimmer from suburban Detroit on the pavement outside a gas station. 2 teens have been arrested. There's a grainy surveillance video from the gas station that shows the boy, David Harris, with a group of friends as he steps from the curb into the truck's path. Quote, hit and runs are a very common epidemic in the city. This particular gentleman did stop and try to render aid and did try to help the child, and then the unfortunate events occurred. This is what the Detroit Police Department Sergeant Michael Woody has stated. There's more to it. As you know, sometimes we read more, sometimes we don't. At this time, I choose not to. I think we got it properly set up. Basically, you got a dude that hit a kid. You got a white dude that hit a black kid in a black neighborhood. He got out, tried to check on the kid to see if he was all right. Based on what that sergeant said, the surveillance video shows the kid just ran into the street. He got hit by accident, and the kid in the neighborhood wilded out. They beat his ass and they stole his shit. What you got to say about that?
I'm so sorry. You know, I'm sorry for him. I'm sorry for his parents. I'm sorry for his family. You know, the little boy got hit by a vehicle, and that's bad. The little boy ran into traffic, so it's sad, according to video. Y'all need to be thankful that this man stopped, that this man waited to see if he was okay, because just like you read, so many people get hit and they keep on moving, and now you're trying to find out who drove a late model sedan. Right. Be glad this man stopped and checked to make sure that he was okay. He didn't mean to hit that kid. The kid ran into traffic. It's just sad. Nobody stopped to think. Nobody was like, oh, you know, whatever. They just want to fight. They just want to beat up the driver. Ridiculous.
Dirk, what you got, man?
It's a shame, man. Like, I mean, we in a world where you can't make a common mistake and without somebody actually thinking they're going to take their Neanderthal way of street justice out on somebody else. If they would have actually been thinking and had their brain on straight, the kid might have got paid. He was in a company van. The insurance policy on that was at least probably $1 million. So, you know, now that's off the table.
Out the window.
I can carry. I can almost promise you that that's off the table. You know, so now not only are you gonna get nothing, his friend's gonna get charged with attempted murder. Yeah. God forbid this man passes away or ends up in some real mental damage.
God, I hope not.
It's just unfortunate the type of world we live in, man. I mean, it's really Neanderthal, barbaric type of society, and you know, certain things I'm sure due to happen.
I can dig it. Our sister Michelle is checking in. What's up, Michelle? Thank you for listening to us. Ain't no hashtag on Marcus J. I think Dirk and SY said it best on the Detroit situation. Not really much that I can add to it. It's a sad situation. Some of our listeners may have heard the story that I've told in the past. I was hit by a car when I was about 10. I was actually 9, a few months from my 10th birthday. I got hit by a car on Easter Sunday in 1984. I was 9 years old, a few months from turning 10. And the car that hit me, I don't remember. You know, it was a flash. And I had an older cousin who was with me, who I'm not in contact with now, so I can't ask him to confirm this. But what I remember was a sky blue car that hit me. I was knocked unconscious very, very briefly. The grainy memories that I have is of the car hitting me and then driving away, and then my cousin picking me up and carrying me about 2 blocks to the house where I was rushed to the hospital. And thankfully, the only thing that was wrong with me is the car ran over my right foot, like literally ran over my right foot. Had I been a half a step faster, might have been a different situation, but thankfully it turned out the way it turned out. And the only negative thing, aside from getting my family all freaked the hell out, was that I couldn't play baseball the rest of that season. So, it worked out for me. But it's crazy to speak about the hit and run, that you can hit a kid and know that you hit a kid and keep it moving.
Keep going.
But this guy didn't do that. He got out of the car. He tried to help, and for that, he got his ass beat. And that's crazy to me. And like Dirk said, if these people had their heads screwed on the right way, they would realize that this little boy was going to be set for the rest of his life. But now, it's very, very likely that whoever is, whatever's going, this man, hopefully he makes a full recovery. But he going to end up getting some kind of money behind this.
Oh, no question.
He's going to end up getting money behind this. So that's the crazy part. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Live from the Den Legacy Internet Radio. Going to take our first break of the night. Our sister Joy is agreeing with us, by the way. Take our first break of the night. And when we come back, my sister S.Y. is going to lead us in a healthy segment. I want to know how she gonna make us healthy. And she don't like to tell. I don't even know. She be trying to hide stuff. So you're gonna tease. You're gonna give Dirk and me and the listeners some sort of tease, or how you gonna make us healthy? What's the deal?
I'm gonna give you a clue.
What's the clue?
Ow.
There's some sort of pain involved with that. For Dirk, SY, y'all, me. Be back in a minute.